Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. I want to share a bunch of pictures and videos I just took on one of those multi-day watch safaris, as I like to call them. A friend of mine, Ben, hi Ben, joined me on one of them, and we were both dipping our toes really for the first time a bit more seriously into the semi-vintage Rolex sports models, 5-digit references. Always throws you off a little bit when you feel them compared to the modern references. A lot lighter, the bracelets of a lot lesser quality, but so much charm to them. Not quite sure where I'm going with this. Am I going to go for a post 2000, very usable, still very much a tool type of watch, or do I dare going more vintage and maybe not have quite a watch that I can go in the water and be really carefree with? Prices have risen so much. You've seen the video I did with Johnny Guitar. He was talking about his 16750 printed dial GMT Master transition reference, giving us some pointers what to look for, and it doesn't replace going yourself, feeling the watches, talking to the sellers. I feel that we've mostly seen watches around the 12 to 15, 16 grand mark. I feel it's worth paying the extra $1,000 to get the peace of mind buying the seller, buying from a good seller like London Watches, who stand by their product, who authenticate them as best as they can and tell you all you need to know about what's being polished and how the watch is performing. Same for the vintage concept by for example, or classic watch repair. I would start there. When you go to the other shops, sellers are more cagey, and this is where you find better prices. But usually when you're going to throw down so much money, you'd want to have peace of mind, and there's so many options. We've seen so many watches. At the end of the day, it gets even harder to really make up your mind. Do you want a bluesy? Do you want a GMT Master 2, or do you want to go for a modern reference, two-tone Daytona, which is still within that price range? You know, once you've emptied your kitty for the year, that's it. You know, you'll have to wait a long time, so you don't want to go wrong. And in the end, more questions were asked and answered, but it was a great little trip. I hope you're gonna enjoy seeing those watches. Prices are really at the top. We are also in the bull market right now. Bonus have just been paid. A lot of foreigners, I was told by a dealer, want to buy GMTs, so there's less and less great examples at a very good price. So I'm still on the fence right there. So let me know in the comments as we go through with this video what you think. Are you into that market? Are you looking to get into it? Do you prefer the vintage references to the modern maxi case, maxi dials? We've looked at some Kermits as well, which are fairly modern watches with already the maxi dial. Anyway, let's start with this nice Coke GMT Master 2 16710, fairly modern reference. The seller there, nice enough guy, nice enough shop. You can clearly see, he was pointing at it, that the top right lug is a bit thinner than the other ones. They have repolished the watch. It looks nice. I really like the look on the wrist. Fairly modern watch, but he couldn't confirm whether it was still water resistant or not. Again, if I'm looking for a vintage, should I worry about it? You know, I think this one is on the modern side, and pretty much the same type of years as my Explorer 2 Polar Dial was, which was totally fine mechanically. So I think price is reasonable, usually a bit lower on those Cokes than the Pepsis, but would be worth getting a bit better guarantee about the performance of the watch. Moving on, just going to show you a few modern references first. Now the modern Pepsi has been already separated in three, Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, by the dealers. The first ones were a bit pale, and yet they reach a higher premium now. So people who really want the very best modern stuff didn't like it as much as the Mark II, which have more strong colors, and the Mark III, where the numerals really pop there. So it's interesting to see. Obviously the Mark I is closer to what the vintage references with the faded bezels look like, you know, in a way. So interesting to see where that market is going. The Bad Girl is lower and might get even lower now that the Oyster option bracelet is back. Root beer, quite popular. Be careful though, it's going to scratch a lot. The one on the top left there is the best price that I have seen on the market. Usually hides something, probably a few scratches, might have been polished already. Anyway, the price is really high, and it's interesting to see that the vintage references are in between the retail and the market price. Speaking of crazy market price, Daytonas have exploded. So many rumors about possibly the 40 millimeters going away at Watches and Wonders. It's not happening. And the caliber still has 70 hours of power reserve. You know, it's a very modern caliber. I don't think they need to refresh the model quite yet. Anyway, prices, it's going to be a while before they come down. They really exploded in the past weeks. As you can see there, the prices. The Explorer, the Mark II that I have, prices almost double retail now already, because the 39mm, for now at least, is discontinued, might be replaced by a 41 in the coming years, but for now they're going to make the 36mm also in two-tone. The Mark I dial, so with the no lume on the 369, is also moving up, and so is the price on the Milgauss and the Air King. Still reasonable, but over retail. And I have one picture here of the beautiful Blue Dial Yachtmaster, always a nice watch. Now, top of the market, you have the Blue Dial Sky Dweller, goes from 180 to 210, it's going up and up and up. And one of the most beautiful watches above 400,000 Hong Kong dollar is that Meteorite dial. I think it looks absolutely stunning, but out of my price range. High horology, always to be considered when you're going to throw down so much money. You know, 5134 travel time, yellow gold there in the middle on top. On the left, you have a nice historic with the classic Lemania movement from a Vacheron. And then you get some nice GLC perpetual calendar. You know, they are more finicky, of course, than the sports watches that are so usable here in Hong Kong in the humid weather. Now, Jaeger-LeCoultre, 65,000 for that Amvox, you know, where you press the crystal itself to start, stop, reset the chronograph. VC overseas, second generation, also good price at 140,000 there. You see another Patek annual calendar, rose gold. Look on the right side, the pushers there on the overpriced 5164 Patek. They don't seem quite to align well. Careful there. Anyway, I had a look in the Mongkok at the market. Similar watches available, less shops than in Yomate. Again, the Cokes stand out, but we've seen also some nice root beers. Here, beautiful faded dial on that very old GMT Master. More Pepsi, more Cokes. Cokes, you see the prices a bit lower than the Pepsi. I like the look. I think it will come back through Tudor, maybe. Now the Kermit, top right, best price that I've seen. Might be hiding something. People try to get the full set there for the Kermits. Prices around 100 to 125,000. Much more if you want the flat 4, obviously. And sometimes you can get new old stock, so that's going to be also quite a bit above the budget there. Now, the watches on the right side of the screen there, I was very interested, so I went to try a couple of them. On the left side, you see a very cool nipple dial, root beer, the Clint Eastwood model, different states of fades. This one I think looked amazing, but you can see already that the top right lug has been polished to death. Too bad, because otherwise the look there, I really love the mix of the color. The blue is not too electric. You have a bit of a pink-ish kind of red, and the fade on the dial is very nice. Price is very good, but the watch over polished. Another one here on the Jubilee just under the 100,000, 16750, transitional reference, but this one is not the printed dial, of course. You have the white gold surround. Very beautiful watch here, wears perfect. Also a bit on the cagey side there from the seller, but one very nice watch. More corks here. Let me know what you think in the comments about the look of those watches. I do dig it more and more, and it could become much more in flavor. So you get to save a bit, maybe $1,000 or even $2,000 compared to the Pepsis. Usually less fades there. Many of these are more modern references, 16710, carried out all through the mid 2000s. The two-tone prices are up again, but you really don't get that much gold. You know, it was interesting to see. I think Chrono Caliber video where they were calculating how much gold you really get in a gold piece, and on a 30 grand gold piece, you really only get 15-20% of the value is gold. So a big upcharge even on the second-hand market now, but some beautiful pieces. I like those GMTs. Or you can go with the black bezel. Here in the middle you get again the root beer nipple dial. Very cool Clint Eastwood. On the left you have a nice yellow gold two-tone. Very good prices on those ones. They are less in favor. No, people in Asia don't really wear them anymore. It's more of a uncle's watch, as they say in Singapore. On the top right, yeah, again that best priced root beer that I've seen, still quite a bit above retail. And then consider always the 30 dials. Those also are coming back in flavor. More two-tone. So as I was saying, in the price range, you can consider a 6-digit reference, 116523 Daytona. Not quite the 503, that's going to be another 20,000 Hong Kong dollar. Or you can also consider the two-tone Sky Dweller, but those are much bigger, really, the two ends of the scale in terms of size, the Daytona and the Sky Dwellers. Between the two tones, I prefer the black dial to the white dial. Black dial will get a bit more of a premium. And all the way to the left, the racing dial, man, that one has exploded in price. Obviously, I always thought it was special. One thing I don't like is that the sub-dials are really pushed against the 10 and the 2. So not really aesthetically that pleasant. What is really pleasant is this 1675, absolutely gorgeous. 118,000 Hong Kong dollar. That's the price, and that comes from London Watches, very reputable place. I also love the upcoming watch here with the black bezel. That is a good way to get into the vintage one, those black bezels. And then here the Archie luxury all gold Submariner, beautiful. Now let's get to some patina sea dwellers. They get forgotten sometimes, still at very good prices. Look at the bottom left, the crazy fade there on a GMT. And I'll let you read the prices. In the center, another sea dweller with a spiderweb tropical dial, as the dealers call them. And on the top right, Stardust there on a Submariner. They really look great, I have to say. But you do pay the extra for those special damages, as they used to be called. Now, Canal de Panama logo there on the top left. That's $1 million Hong Kong dollar. In the middle, at the top, you see prices are rising on the Sea Dweller 4000. I bought mine a year and a half ago, I think, maybe just a year ago, for only 90,000. They're going above 120 now. Also, I missed the boat on the white gold olive dial date. They were under 200. Now it's above 300, as you can see there at bottom in the center. On the right side here, I've finally found better prices for the OP coral red and the green, still way above retail though. Now Omega, really interesting watches. Bottom right, you get the GMT Seamaster. Above it, great price for the orange version of the Planet Ocean. You see many of these. And then the two on the left there, really interesting to see Tim Mosso's video about the Apnea Seamaster, built together with the famous Jacques Mayol. freediver, and there's a module on top of an ETA 2892. Really interesting display. So you have 7 circles that will go gradually red and then back to white. An easy reference when you're in the depth of the ocean. And here, beautiful picture, 2 omegas. On the right, you have a bullhead chronograph, and you can see the price in the 60,000s. In the middle here, I like that watch. Tangerine kind of dial on this Submariner. One of the last Submariners that Tudor did with sort of a mirror bezel. Not sure really how it would work in real life, but I love looking at it. And the price here much better than anything you can find, if you can find anything, on Chrono 24. Beautiful wave dial, bottom left, Seamaster. Above that, I see many of these Cartier Roadster, but most of them don't have all the links. Some of them you can't even put on a male's wrist. And a bit of Seiko, Grand Seiko GMT there, and another very cool little Tudor above. We're reaching the end of our journey with a bit of APE, offshores, and a couple of Tudors there, and a nod to IWC. The Tudor 74033, look at the Bruce Williams's video about it. They're actually really small, they're 34 millimeters, but apparently hard to find in the Western world, pretty common here. You can even find new old stock. Please don't send me messages about me sending one to you. Just maybe try to order them online. I hope you've enjoyed this tour. Let me know if you have any question, you want to know more about some prices. Thank you for staying with me. Take care, guys. Bye bye.